Awake, number 2, 2020. 5 questions about suffering answered. At some point, everyone is affected by tragedy, perhaps an illness, an accident, a natural disaster, or an act of violence. People search for answers. Some attribute suffering to fate, or in some other way feel that we have little control over what happens to us. Others believe in karma. They say that we suffer because of something bad that we did earlier in life or in a past life. Tragedy often leaves people with more questions than answers. End of article. What some believe. Hindus view suffering as a consequence of a person's actions committed in either this life or a past one. A person can reach moksha, a release from the cycle of rebirths, through achieving a state of mind that is detached from temporal things. Muslims view suffering as both a punishment for sin and a test of faith. Tragedies are a reminder to remain grateful to God for all our blessings and cognizant that we must support those in need, says Dr. Syed Saeed, president of the Islamic Society of North America. Jewish tradition holds that suffering results from one's own actions. Some Jews say that there will be a resurrection, after which justice will be rendered to the innocent who suffered. Kabbalistic or mystical Judaism teaches reincarnation, which gives a person repeated opportunities to atone for his errors. Buddhists believe that suffering is experienced over many lifetimes, a cycle of rebirths that continue until a person's negative actions, emotions, and cravings cease. By means of wisdom, virtuous works, and mental discipline, a person can reach nirvana, a state in which all suffering has ceased. Confucianists attribute most suffering to human failure and error, says a dictionary of comparative religion. Confucian doctrine recognizes that while suffering can be reduced through virtuous living, much of it is caused by spiritual agencies beyond man's control. In such cases, man must stoically accept the decrees of fate. Some tribal religions attribute suffering to witchcraft. According to these beliefs, witches can bring good luck or disaster, and their activities can be tempered through various rituals. Thus, the rites and medicines of witch doctors are believed to counteract the work of witches when a person suffers from illness. Christians trace suffering to the sin of the first 2 humans, as described in the Bible book of Genesis. However, many denominations have embellished that teaching. For example, some Catholics say that personal suffering can be offered up to God to request that He benefit the Church or that He apply that suffering toward the salvation of someone else. Learn more. Watch the video, Does God Accept All Forms of Worship? On jw.org. End of article. Question 1. Is God to blame for our suffering? Why it matters. Many people reject God because they blame Him for suffering. To think about. Directly or indirectly, many religious leaders have taught that God is the cause of our suffering. For example, some say the following: natural disasters are punishment from God. Children die because God needs more angels in heaven. God takes sides in wars, a cause of great suffering. But is it possible that religious leaders have misrepresented God? What if God has rejected them? What the Bible says. God does not cause our suffering. If He did so, it would be contrary to His qualities as revealed in the Bible. For example, all God's ways are justice. Righteous and upright is He. Deuteronomy 32:4. It is unthinkable for the true God to act wickedly, for the Almighty to do wrong. Job 34:10. The Almighty does not pervert justice. Job 34:12. God rejects religion that misrepresents Him. This includes religions that teach that God causes our suffering and those that are involved with warfare and violence. The prophets are prophesying lies in my, or God's, name. I have not sent them or commanded them or spoken to them. A lying vision and the deceit of their own heart is what they are prophesying to you. Jeremiah 14:14. Jesus denounced religious hypocrisy. Not everyone saying to me, "Lord, Lord," will enter into the kingdom of the heavens, but only the one doing the will of my Father who is in the heavens will. Many will say to me in that day, "Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and expel demons in your name, and perform many powerful works in your name?" And then I will declare to them, "I never knew you. Get away from me, you workers of lawlessness." Matthew 7:21-23. Is God to blame for our suffering? Suppose a father raises his children and provides well for them. Later, one son rebels, moves out of the home, and chooses a self-destructive lifestyle. Would the father be responsible for his son's conduct? Could the son blame his father for negative consequences that he experiences? In a similar way, we cannot blame God for our suffering. But does this mean that we are to blame for it? See question 2. Learn more. Watch the video, Why Study the Bible, on jw.org. End of article.